Since the thing, 42 males lost their lives in the final conflict. It's actually fully male. It's fully male. There is no female in the final conflict. Most of them were babies, one boy, and all of them are mostly men. With a runtime of 108 minutes, we got lives lost every hour at 2.57 minutes. But the great acts of execution goes to Damien. Honestly, his death won that stick until the credits roll, and his final ride before dropping dead, still mocking Jesus, even as he's dying. He actually deserved the great acts because, honestly, I am a Christian and this still deserve it because this is a... The Whippy Acts go to Father Brento. Honestly, this death is a freak accident that goes wrong. I think about it. I actually did thought of, but this death is actually pretty wrong. But I did do. Next week I will do Peeling Neverland Nightmares for my birthday Lost Lives count because, well, for my birthday I actually do this thing where I actually do public domain horror for my birthday. Just like I did for my last birthday, I will do public domain horror. Instead of Beware of Children at Play, I will actually do that at the beginning of January. Have a good day, guys. Bye. The movie starts with the 20th Century Fox logo, which the 20th Century Fox logo actually starts with every single of the Omen. And the drilling, and we have Harvey Byrne production yet again. But we actually will see him in The Omen Awaken for his final time, and May's neutral field. It's Chicago, Illinois, and the workers are digging, and they actually find something. The knives of Mendigo, 7 of them. And we actually have the title card! The Omen... Honestly, this is part of the Omen franchise and the final conflict. Because this is the final chapter of Damien's story. But until 2006, Damien wasn't going to be... Until 2006 and 2021, Damien... the first Omen actually give birth to Damien. And 2006 showed Damien back. The blades are auction with sold by the priest. They actually know and understand what they've got. It's actually the knives fly. The priest actually flies to Sabi, Italy, to the monastery. The music is actually played yet again by Jerry Goldsmith. And we actually hear the foreign commercial. And, "Oh, Damien Grow Up" by Sid Neal. Okay, you're okay. Sam Neill, played by. Okay, if you're actually wondering who Sam Neill is, he actually is played in Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Dominion, Peaky Blinders, Major Chestnut, Campbell, Merlin, Emmy nomination, Hackett and Hunt for Wider People, clearly already in David Jenkins, Merrill, Invisible People, and the sci-fi horror film Dr. William Warner, Event Horizon, which I will actually cover if anybody would want me to. And Harvey Dean is played by Don Gordon. He is in Bullet, Detective Dogani, Papillon as Joreen, Cappy as Tyrant Inferno. Ryan in The Exorcist 3. He's Dominant in Slaughter. The Mac he's Sergeant in The Mac, and Detective Bart in Fuzz. The commercial is actually about the foreign industry. And Damien is he's actually fed up, he actually talk about the Osran Dam. That supervise he want to become the ambassador. And he quote the book of Hey Beyond that passed the 100 score of 30 nights with the second coming of Christ. And the American ambassador see Damien's dog, which since the first, Damien actually had the dog. Since the first, we go from dog to crow to dog. Nice. Now the ambassador walk, and then to the dog he acted strange. And we actually hear the music. And he rigged the gun and the first step. Okay, the scene setup is actually the American ambassador is the Omen of a suicide defense. The impact of Damien appointed the new ambassador that rise of the global apocalypse. Honestly, Graham wanted to intentionally disorderly gloriously. It symbolizes Damien influence of acceptor. The suicide attempts of U.S. President appointed was diplomacy and elite. It foreshadowed the ambassador to death of the alignment of the. Behind the scenes, Don Gordon, who played Damien advisor Dean, subplot involved the movie, hinting that Damien planned to orchestrate the death. Honestly, Damien is talking to the president, and the Australian dam blow up, but play, and he want to run for the Senate seat. And we actually have the disciple of Splitito. Ooh. Who actually Brother Beto, Martin, Marcus, Paulo, Simon, Ayato, and DiCaro, played by Mark Boyle, Mio's Kira, Tommy Doggan, Louis Mahomey, Richard Oldfield, Tony Vogel, and Rosie Bazzi. And DiCaro actually survived the film. And each priest carried the 7 daggers of Manquillo, and the only weapon that carried. And the death are spread throughout the film. Include the Mark Boyle, who actually is in Outland, Fifth Element, Avengers, and Judge. He MI6 agent in Living Daylights. Lava accredited to Return the Jedi. The power plant worker is Superman 3. Henchman in High Road to China, and the SA office in Whoops Apocalypse. Miles Merrick is in Never Say Never, Soldier and Me, and London Connect. He caught Vi in Never Say Never, Pushkin in A Spy in the Evening, Gerald Parrott in MacGyver, Dr. Frem in Daily Lives, and Davovic in Murder, She Wrote. Tommy Dovin is in The Omen, Superman 2, and Doctor Who. He's the priest in The Omen. Diner owner is Superman 2. Senate Arcot in Doctor Who. Father Paul Cleary in Father Ted. And Kindly Gara in Lady and the Highwayman. Louis Mahomey played Captain Phillip in Captain Phillips, Cry of Freedom, Doctor Who, and Faulty Towers. He's Dr. Finn in Faulty Towers. He pointed in Doctor Who Evil Planet. He also official in Cry Freedom. He Leo, the Dying Werewolf in Be Human. He Ardua in White Mischief. Richard Oldfield, he's in Star Wars Empire Strike Back. Life Force and Ragtime. The Hobby Kai in the Rogue 4 in the Empire Strike Back. He's Stock of Reporter in Ragtime. He Mission Leader in Life Force. He TAC Agent Officer in the Law of Discipline. He the police man in Scream for help. Okay, he in Raider Lost Ark as tall captain in Raiders of the Lost Ark. M5 agent Mission Impossible. Lombard Les Miserable. Lord Hamilton uncredited in Braveheart, and Dick Barron in Agent. And Rosa Barrett is in South Pacific. 3 coin in the Fountain, and Barefoot Confessor, he Emily the Cotton in South Pacific, Count Vera in Barefoot the Cursor, Joy Berry in Three Coin Fountain, and Italian and Becker in Italian Job, and Diego in. They got the seven knives that going to kill Damien the Antichrist, and give one each one. They and reveal the truth between the Son of Goddess. Now the party and meet Kate Reynolds and Barbara Dean Gordon. Kate Reynolds is played by Lisa Harold. She rolled the journalist at World Focus who actually involved with the story romantically, but she was unaware of Antichrist. Lisa Harold portray as emotional complex to films, especially as Kate perform. Kate's son, Pete Reynolds, is a target that Damien has to becoming disciple, as adding personal stakes to her mission. The character create, especially for the final conflict, does not appear in earlier Omen films. Errol has now show her work perform roles that perform. Damien Thorn and as Sam Neill, actually his earliest role, and Barbara is a key role of the Antichrist. Lisa, her trained actress that does a Shakespeare role and gripping story and grapple of the horrifying truth. The film explores the rise of the Antichrist, battle good between evil. Culminating the final, the showdown reveals the divine nature of Christ's return. The Brent Baker starred Sam Neill. This and Neill breakout role before Jurassic Park. The tone of political and philosophical. The film with these themes of prophecy, manipulation, and spiritual warfare. Kate does World Vision News, but it's actually called World Vision, and they may actually call her the Barbara Walters. Peter is her 12-year son, and Damien. He was actually like Damien at his age, but he's not the Antichrist. But he actually buy him a boat, and it started to rain. He doesn't want to get married, but he actually talk about dogs, about them being from Egypt. Now, they give him a cold slip when the priest talk about the Bible verse. Quote the Bible verse. The seventh brother got the autograph from Kate Reynolds and give him a said, "It's Coleman time. People are getting him ready." Harvey warned him about a guy that actually talking to him, and call him a word that I will not say. Kate, it's actually one of the brothers. Brother Bento. Kate, news show airs at his news interview. His ego is too much. Damien now wants to help young people. Yeah, he actually got nominated. He actually asked the president to become the president of the youth council, and as well, Father Brento at the moment. As soon as Harvey called him out, Father Brento, deaf. Honestly, Echo and the day. Night and the spark and the blow and do at 33 minutes and 17 seconds he actually died. And golf, and no one moves. Not Damien, not Harvey, not even Kate, because the Bento burned to death alive. Same age as Christ when he actually died. Same timestamp, but the priests, they actually won. The Bible verse, the day of the Lord will come like a thief at night. This verse is usually a second coming that build tension. Then will appear of the second man in heaven. Glory to the cloud. Imagery of seven gold and right in the next Revelation chapter 12 verse 12, behold, I am coming quickly, my reward is me. You could use a chilling echo. The priest's epilogue especially is he warning Damien about the divine judgment. If Brother Bento is a fictional nod to Bento Mussolini's real-life death, that traumatic ray is trivia history. Executed by Pius Mussolini and his mistress Clara Say were captured, flee, and executed April 28, 1945. Claire died trying to shield her at the gravity, and Bento was prosecuted, hung upside down in Moen while bodies were displayed. Honestly, Claire, it's actually a symbol of what actually happened. It's too late, he's gone, but it was a Harvey needed a drink, but it was an assassination attempt on Damien. Because he told his origin of how he was birthed, because of Robert was actually gave him, and talk about Buhagen, who actually gave Robert the 7 nines of Hodego, that the only ones that can kill him. He need to be careful. They need to be careful. No connection to the victim. That's actually a lie. Now, second mistake. And sleep. He will sleep in. And he say a dark prayer. And no. I'm a Christian that love horror movies, so I do not truly. And Sam Neill piece good. He say he does born of the jackal, but I am not going to mention it. Though it's a good speech of cinema that Sam Neill delivered the most chilling core of cinema. We were created in man's image. While you're born of an infinite God, I was conceived of a jackal, born Satan, the insolent one. I'll drive deeper the fort in your rancid carcass. You profane Isis, cursed Nazareth. Satan, I will avenge the torment by destroying Christ forever. He is ranting and declare war, and the theatrical and Neil bleeds for real in the scene out of raw intensity. These props they are sacred relics and tell my biblical background of my lore. In 112 for AD, Colberheged, only weapon capable of destroying 7 and by using hollow ground. While the first film, The Omen, passed by Robert Thorn, hesitating to use Damien in final conflict. The priest recovered the dagger, attempt assassination. Damien outmaneuvered them, collecting the daggers himself. The daggers are the kryptonite, one piece of the body of all the 7 daggers. But honestly, the stars are conversion 50 meters, and Damien are tossing and turning up, and the dog wake up, and Damien woke. Honestly, it's a countdown time, and honestly, he woke up in a sweat, and he actually report of the chaos left and right. Kate want to interview Harvey, baby boy, Harvey Dean Jr. is born. Daggers back now. The monastery of Italy I already mentioned back then. You need to get rid of the brothers. Mattes and the sheep. He walks up and Mattes Pool kill him by stabbing him at 51:11, and he did. No, it was Mattes. Then the deaths of Mattes Pool die off screen at 51:26. The telescope reveals that the convergent Topeka constellation and triggered the deaths in order of all the male victims. Mattes, honestly, his death is tragic misfire, and I still count them their deaths of Martin and Paulo, because, well, they did die off screen. They actually divided between the 7 priests. Mortis death when the one of the few priests. The off-screen deaths film less gore and more dread, and the conversion the 3 daggers were retrieved by kill, and it's actually fox hunted time. And now it's Antonio and Simon turn try to kill Damien, and they actually got a fox. And now Simon actually shoot the fox, and they actually drag a fox through, and they actually barricade the bridge in. And with the Damien influence the horse, and Damien throw Antonio off the bridge at 1 hour and 44 seconds. And Simon turned, and the dogs look hungry, and he got mauled to death by the dogs at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 23 seconds. But honestly, it's actually a classic move to use the horse. Fun fact, Tony Vogel, who actually played Antonio, performed the stunt himself. The bridge was filmed in Surrey, England, with real foxhounds trained for the sequence. And near the fall ambition that developed by divine or demonic force. Simon's death, Richard Oldfield, who actually plays Simon, wore protective gear under his suit for the dog attack scene. The dogs were actually trained by the same team of the Omen. Simon's death is similarly, he was devoured by the very beast he meant to serve the hunt, a reversal of order. Call him man best friend. He's actually Damien is getting blood, but it looks like fox blood, but it's actually human blood. And Peter actually goes to see him, and he want to actually see if it's actually he got any souvenirs from the fox hunt, but he didn't. He just got blood, but it's actually Simon's blood. But Damien it baby killing time, because he got millions of disciples. And his speech of destroy the Nazarene child and slay him, so his father can inherit the earth. And honestly, it's shopping time of Carol and Barbara going, and the Pearson child that killed Christopher, Alexander, and David, Blake, Dean. Okay, let me actually say, Carol got hit with a ball, and the car hit the stroller, and Christopher died from, honestly, for my lives lost count, babies do get killed, but it's more controversial. So it's 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 3 seconds. And the murder is shock. And after Christopher died at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 50 seconds. But another happened. Alexander David, one of his disciples, a priest, drowned Alexander David at 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 3 seconds. The mother was in shock. And another disciple, a nurse, turned off the oxygen that killed David 1 hour in. What actually happened? 26 babies died off screen by his disciple at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 6 seconds. He gave. Okay, it's a total of 29 infants' deaths. The final infant death, but it won't be until. Honestly, David Graham actually, most of the deaths were happening off screen because David death was actually great. Honestly, it's strip warmth, and honestly, the 26 off-screen deaths was built to cut the scream and transitions. The nurse who killed David, played by Hazel O'Hell, better known for a music career, her calm demeanor was internationally to contrast the horror of her acting. Honestly, there is so many censorship like UK and Latin American. When you get this version, it just fade out. It's before the oxygen was turned off. The scene was heavily debated by censors for its emotional weight. During the monologue, saying the nursery, Neil Important cut his hand on set, kept performing Baker-led role before raw intensity. Neil described the emotion as emotionally isolated and described Damien manipulating into others. But honestly, this actually reference to Matthew 2:16, where Herod ordered the male children to prevent the rise of Jesus Christ. And also David, as his final kill, ended with a child named David, as is a... Honestly, the news say 15 to 20 baby boys, and not about the food epidemic. And DiCarlo talked to Kay urgently about and tell her about the birth story of Jesus and the same day story, and the Antichrist is born, and she doesn't believe, and all the birth certificates. And why one person born? Who is the Antichrist? Kate said. Damien Thorn. She laughed. He quote, "Don't bear false witness." He actually say. He did research on him. However, he actually told her in Book of Revelation, look under his hair. 666. Now she read it. Harvey actually says Strother betray, and now David can't talk for him. And how many more? 3 or 4? Damien asks, "Are you ready to kill Harvey Jr.?" Peter is now an apostle and followed DiCarlo after and he actually at Harvey's house. Now Barbara she actually found proof herself, and she doesn't trust Harvey. Now David explained that evil and the devil's old nickname, Old Nick. Kate asked, "Do you believe in God?" And he said, "What you think?" She fall in, and David left and grabbed her. Damien left and grabbed her. She soaked it wet, and Damien and Kate have sex. Then she saw her say, "Pain is beauty, death is pain, beauty is pain." She got scars. Now she actually got dressed and left with the dog. And she actually see Damien, and now she actually see the sixes on her head. Now she knows the truth. He awakened. Harvey actually come to the office. Now Damien asked him why DiCarlo asked him. And Harvey actually said, "I don't know who is DiCarlo." Peter been following DiCarlo, and told him what Damien wanted him to kill his son. Now he says something untrue, that God told Abraham to slay his own son. Well, no, he actually say, well, in the Bible, God wanted him to give his son a new place and a new nation. Now Barbara sees the dog, and now the baby is a demon. I am not joking. She actually sees the baby, and not yet. But he's not. Now Harvey is home, and Harvey Jr. is killed off screen by a hot iron for clothes at 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 47 seconds. After that, Barbara is possessed, hits Harvey with an iron in his face. It's started to simplify the corruption of the Antichrist influence. Behind the scenes, the shot was focused on Sizzler and Barbara like trance, but it actually was going to be on screen, but yeah. Behind the scenes for Harvey death, Don Gordon wore a prosthetic mold for the aftermath shot, and the impact filming, it cut the cue and avoided gore but amplified dread. Lisa Hodra performance was praised, and suddenly the demon baby animatronic glowing eyes and twittering limbs. Her final scene was left ambiguous to fuel fans' theories. Honestly, the dogs were trained to signal off camera, eerie that the slow motion is speed up. DiCarlo showed up to the show and warned her about the Antichrist, and Peter is with him, and he's not in school, he's not in bed, and she had to go home to her son. And now Damien is making Peter accept the devil, but she's going to lead him to the Christ child. Now Kate ask Jesus for help, and it's actually going to leave him to a trap. And now with Kate say so, DiCarlo tried to stab Damien. Instead, stabbed Peter in the back at 1 hour 41 minutes and 37 seconds. Peter is gone. Damien tried to look for Christ after shaking DiCarlo. Kate grief. Damien say it's time. Run, and he got stabbed by Kate. He staggered to the baby in the light. And Damien goes on the count after saying, Nazareth, you want nothing. At 1 hour and 35 seconds. It's over. The Bible verse, Behold the Lion of Judah, the Messiah, who came first as a child, but returned as a child, not return as a child, but return as the King of Kings, to rule the power of glory forever. It ends where DiCarlo holding Peter's dead body, and Kate pick him up. And it ends where another Bible verse, and God shall wipe tears from their eyes, and shall not no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any pain, for former things are passed away. They actually left. Honestly, the actor Homa, who actually play the real life son of Ian Holm, the stabbing clapped so big with a tube that Peter tunic. The director Graham Baker is since Lisa Harold react in real time. Her scream was unscripted and raw. Sam Neill improvised his final line. It wasn't in the script. The glow of the light was optical effects. His rig. Neil wore a chest ring and retractable blade, a tube that collapsed, and the film in slow motion that provoked. Honestly, the final shot of the golden era of Provoke Serenity, the silent walk was inspiration by the final seal, a priest who seen the death scene, who still believes. How many lives did Damien did to get for his second coming? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Subscribers. You win nothing. I am William Prouty. I am the powerful Nexus. Welcome to the Lost Lives Count, where we do lives lost counts to victims from everywhere in fiction of horror movies, anime, action flicks, music videos, twisted TV shows, and and their episodes. And you name it, we count it. I am and today we're diving into the Omen III, the Final Conflict, or the Final Conflict. Released in 1980. Honestly, this film is the final conflict. It's directed by Graham Baker, who actually did the sci-fi thriller and the sci-fi action of Impulse, 1984, and Alien Nation, 1988. The fantasy epic Beowulf. But the film actually is the chapter written by Andrew Birkin. Honestly, this is the final chapter of Damien Thorn. Well, his chapter will actually begin in the first Omen in 2006 reboot and the first Omen. But there is actually more sequels of the Omen, but Damien is now an adult who actually got power and influence with a dark purpose. He is counted down the psychic coming. A group of priests is out to stop him before he fulfills his Antichrist role. Honestly, the first of the films, Richard Donner actually directed, is actually now the executive producer. Damien is born of the jackal and the devil, raised by the adopted parents, but they both die, then raised by his aunt and uncle, then they die. Now he no longer hiding and fulfilling his prophecy. How many lives did Damien take to make sure his father came? Let's find out and get to the lives lost. Oh, warning! This content is not for kids, and it does have deaths it does have deaths. I will actually mention that killing babies and one death of a kid. You've been warned.